Good evening, everyone. I want to thank everyone for joining us in person in Hartford. Also, those who are watching from Hartford Public Access Television Station, um, viewing the program and Comcast 6032 and Channel 96 for uh, Comcast and Channel 96 for Front. The public comment will be conducted in accordance to the following rules. I'm just going to read a few housekeeping items. Each person shall give his or her name, address, and if he or she represents a group, shall in addition state for the record the name and address of said group or organization. Each speaker shall limit his or her remarks to 3 minutes. I'm not sure who are going to be our timekeeper today. Majority Leader, don't see it. Yeah. All remarks should be addressed to the council as a body and not to any council members particularly. During the public comment, no member of the council may address the council as a member of the public.
Yes. Hello, can I be heard?
Yes, Dr. Joyce, give us a minute. We're just finished doing some house cleaning.
Of course,
We will give
housekeeping
you a
is fine.
call. We'll call you. You'll be the first one.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. All right. So during the public comment, no member of council may address the council as a member of public. Any person making personal or scandalous and impertinent remarks or who becomes boisterous while addressing the council shall be barred from further audience at said meeting unless permission is given to remain at the gathering. During the public comment, there shall be no debate by council, although questions may be asked by council of person making such presentation. Tonight, for the public comment, we're going to be joined by Councilman Rosado, Councilman Amilcar Hernandez, Councilman Kelly Billadu, Majority Leader Marilyn Rossetti, Shirley Surgeon, the Council President. We also have a company tonight. We have our treasurer, Carmen Sierra, who is joining us because we're going to be honoring our town clerk tonight. We also have our corporation counsel, and we also have Councilman Mitchum has joined us. On screen for the virtual meeting, we have Councilman, DJ Clark, and we also have Councilman Alex Thomas. Thank you, because I can't see it. I have any glasses on to see that far. So those are we have for the council members. So first person up to speak, and don't forget, Dr. Joyce, we'll be timing you 3 minutes.
That's fine. Nothing unusual.
All right. You have the floor, Councilman George.
Okay, well, also not unusual is my gratification for seeing those on the screen, either in person or through the hybrid mechanism. And just on one happy event, I think, is the consideration of those who have been forced out of their housing by fire. And in particular, at the last meeting, there was a threat to have these people removed because of Gray Hill Corporation, a very nasty New York City real estate firm, which has not been doing well by the treatment of the tenants, and puts at risk the children, especially who live there in their schooling locations and so on. We should be glad to report that the mayor and the council has extended their conditions and financing for another month or so, and hopefully it won't happen any further. It's a good piece of legislation. But it's also very distressing to read of this let's just say lousy behavior by Gray Hill that owns the buildings and out of New York City. They're not in Hartford, and they're not considerate of the needs of the tenants. And apparently there was this disaster of a fire. So it's good that the mayor and the council will maintain hopefully decent conditions, recognizing as always, though, that the children are put at risk if they have to switch schools and living conditions and so on. And Gray Hill Group in New York, my opinion, should be penalized heavily for allowing the building to continue and restricting the access of all the youth in the council, let alone the rest of the city, to decent housing. And so that will do it. And of course, by the way, December 10th, which is the Human Rights Day, internationally recognized, and unfortunately, there are wars going on in many places. But in any case, here in Hartford, let's make sure that our people throughout the winter are well provided for, especially the homeless. But that's always been an issue, and that must be ended also, so that no one is homeless, not only in Hartford but in the whole state, of course, and even more broadly in the whole world. So let me conclude with that. I beat the clock, I think, and I wish all the council members and everyone listening a good and safe holiday season, including the time to wear masks is not totally behind us. So with all that advice, let people be happy and healthy throughout. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Deutsch, and you also have a safe holiday season.
All right.
Next person to speak is Ann Badashian.
Good evening. Ann Gostigian, 80 Weathersfield Avenue, Hartford. I'm here today to bring you a few little facts about this Concord Hills thing that's going on. You all have a printout in front of you, I believe, that this is from a week ago when a long list of medical professionals interviewed the displaced tenants, and including psychologists, doctors, nurses, all other kinds of people about the trauma and what they've been going through for over 4 months now, never knowing where they're going to be. If you've heard of a state statute called the Uniform Relocation Assistance Act, if you haven't, it is on the state's website. And that's where you get the $4,000 for people to relocate to another place. Do you know when the Uniform Relocation Assistance Act was put into place? 1971. In 1971, if you had $4,000 and rented a 2-bedroom apartment in Hartford, that would last you about 9 months worth of rent. I know, I was there. I lived in several of them in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And yes, you could get a good apartment for between $400 and $550 a month. Utilities included, your appliances included. It was very good. Now, if these people take the $4,000, which the mayor has suggested they do, and I've looked at the list of apartments that they said they should check out, that $4,000 would be gone in 10 minutes because they'd have to pay the first month's rent, the last month's rent, and the security deposit. Bingo, your $4,000 is gone. Do you understand why they are not willing to accept that? In today's world, a fair amount would have been, say, $20,000 in the Reunification Act. These are very good people. They're good citizens. They're longtime Hartford residents. They're having a hard time. Now they've been told, and believe me, the mayor has said, and I've taken all these quotes from earlier in the year, how he's going to tell these slumlords and these people who don't take care of their buildings to get the hell out of Hartford. That's what it said, right there. About a month ago, he was quoted to another journalist saying that he was frustrated and he was going to have the city go in, excuse me, please let me finish, Shirley. This is important. The city was going to go in, finish the repair work, and Gray Hill would have to pay for it. Let's face it, folks, and everyone knows this. Gray Hill has deliberately slowed down on the repair of the apartments. Deliberately. It's what you call, excuse me, a pissing contest. They want to see who's going to blink first. And they're hoping that the residents will do it and just go away. But those were their homes, and many of them have lived there for many years happily in a community, a very tight community, and they want to go back there. January 10th, January 10th is 32 days away. If Gray Hill gets pressured by the city, they could finish those repairs by January 10th. I would like this council to urge the mayor to do so. Pressure them. Make it hard for them. And if not, run them out of Hartford and never let them come back again. Thank you.
Next up to speak will be Hyacinth Yenny.
Good evening, everyone, council members, state treasurer. Good evening. I would like to take a moment of silence. I've lost two good people this week, Noel McGregor and Troy Stewart. They were people that I work with. And so I'd like to take a moment of silence in respect of them. Thank you. So, again, I'm here. A couple of things I like to say. First thing, I want to say, Janice Castle, I want to thank her for all the great work she's done in the city. She is the connection we had to City Hall. And now she's gone. And I cannot say I completely understand all the logistic about that, but however, she was removed from City Hall. And that's a sad day for us in the community. Maybe not for City Hall, but in the community. We missed her, okay? But she's gonna be okay. Because you know, this city of Hartford, they chew up our people, our good people that works, and spit them out like they're nothing, okay? And that is sad. If we can change the way we do business in this city, we could keep a lot of our good people, the people who actually do work, okay? Because she actually worked in the community with us as community people, all right? So I just want to let her know that we care about her, and we're sad that we won't be working with her. But I think she will connect with us in the neighborhood, and that's what I'm good for, because she's a community person. And the other thing I want to also say, our registrar office, Noel is gone. We've got Eric and we've got Haley, who's been there. As a matter of fact, Eric has been there before Noel. So I'm hoping that the city will make sure that these two people stay in place at the city, at registrar office, because they have the knowledge and understanding of what goes on in the registrar's office, okay?
Town clerk, you mean?
I beg your pardon?
The town clerk's office.
The town clerk's office. Okay, town clerk's office. The other thing is that I'm a little concerned about is that we've been waiting so long for a police chief, and we haven't had a police chief in place, an acting police chief. I'm surprised as council we haven't put more pressure on the mayor, whoever make the decision, to make sure we have a person in place. We're losing a lot of our guys from the department, and they're not coming back, and they're good people we're losing. We need stability. We need people who are going to make sure our city stays safe and strong. We need to address that. So I'm hoping that you guys will look at that. The other thing, a quick thing I would like to just say something about the Bushnell Park. I think Harris Bushnell might be turned over in his grave to know that we're going to be renting out the park. And for the simple reason is that park is for free, and we shouldn't be charging. However, the money that comes from there should not be going to talk about we're going to hire an art person. Art money should be coming from somewhere else. That money should be put in the trust fund for the park. not to hire a staff. What happened when that person is no longer renting that space? Well, that person that we hire for the art will be gone. So I think we got to be wise about what we're doing and make sure we do the right thing for the city and the residents. I want to wish you all a happy holiday. Oh, by the way, Thursday, if you're available at 6 p.m., we're having our meet and greet party at St. Augustine Church. I invite you all. Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation, Hyacinth. I just want to remind everyone that there is a 3-minute limit.
I know, but I just
Okay.
had to say what I have.
All right, so I'm going to really start holding everyone to that. The next person up to speak is Raquel Calderon.
Good evening, City Council.
Good evening.
I am sorry that I couldn't attend to on Wednesday for our city clerk. I was working, and I give my condolences to the family. I came here especially to talk about that. Yes, I'm going to talk about the new city clerk. I hope the city council taken conscious, somebody who worked really hard, very efficient, like always before Kelly left. You know, Eric has been doing the job, and he's excellent in his work. He has experience, and I hope there's no politics playing in this time. And I'm just gonna follow up on that, and you have to choose somebody who knows what they're doing, and he was loyal to the city for a long time. And it's about time, and I'm sorry that the other city clerk passed away. I am really sorry, especially the way it happened. Thank you.
Thank you, Raquel. Next up to speak is Tracy Filmy. Tracy? You signed up.
Hello and good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
3 minutes ain't gonna be enough, so I'm gonna just say this quick.
Well, you can come back next month. We'll be here.
Next month, I don't know, Miss Surgeon, I don't know. But it's very saddening that we lost. And Miss Castle, the everything to our city. I don't know what's going on with this building, but something have to change. Something have to change. And where is Arun, and why isn't he here? Why isn't he here? He's never here to stand in with you guys. 3 minutes, they ain't gonna work for me. I'm gonna respect the time and respect everyone that's here, but I'm pretty sure y'all know me and y'all know exactly how I feel about everything that's going on in our city, in this building. It's sad. It's really sad. And what happened to Janice is terribly sad. So I'm gonna just leave it there, and hopefully the next meeting I decide to show up for, Arun is in the building. You know, we have terrible representation, and he is terrible. Sorry, but it is what it is, and everybody knows that. And I'm gonna just leave it there. And Ms. Surgeon, I'll see you before next month.
Thank you, Tracy. Next person up to speak, Michael Downs.
Good evening, council members. My name is Michael Downs. I live at 74 Rosemont Street in Hartford. And I'd first like to express my condolences to the city and to the family of Noel McGregor, who I attended this past week. Knew Noel, first knew him through the NAACP. Then when I was on the Democratic Town Committee, he was the chair. And also, I remember the good work he did as city and town clerk. Also, another good friend, Thurman Milner, former state representative, mayor, state senator, and he also was president of the NAACP course, a good friend of mine, the late Wilbur G. Smith, Senator Wilbur G. Smith. And I'm sorry to hear that they passed. The next thing I'd like to talk about is Concord Hill Apartments. The city should begin procedures on taking over ownership of that building. Throw these people out of the city. I mean, they're no good. They don't care about the people that live there, and $4,000 still may not get people an apartment. No guarantee. But if the city can take over and get some state funding and some federal funding and some funding to fix it up and rent it out as city buildings, that would be better. Third thing I want to talk about is Wish School. Had a chance to look at some of the design of the Wish School, and it only has one front entrance facing the street. Two streets. There's Kensington Street and Barber Street, and one front building, one entrance at the Barber Street side, and then there's no entrance on the Kensington Street side. There should be at least two entrances, and I do object to that, but I think at the best thing we could do is have the city fire marshal take a look at the plan and see if there should be one more entrance going out toward the street. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up to speak, Myra Melendez.
Madam President, she had asked me whether I would interpret because she only speaks Spanish. So I'm just.
Would you like to translate?
Yeah, I'm just giving everyone the heads up. That's why I'm
Sure.
turning my mic on.
Councilman Mitchell will translate for you.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Mi nombre es Mayra Meléndez, soy residente de la 105 de la Sherbrooke Avenue.
My name is Mayra Melendez. I'm a resident of 105 Sherbrooke Avenue.
Lamentablemente, hoy no vamos a ver aquí al alcalde porque no hay una cinta, no hay una tijera para cortar.
Unfortunately, we're not going to see the mayor here because there's no appointment for him to appear.
Pero sí, él se encarga de decir de que cortó el ombligo con nosotros, que no nos va a ayudar ni nos va a dar una extensión y nos vamos a quedar fuera el 10 de enero.
But I do know that he's told us, not directly, that we're not going to get help and we're not going to get an extension and we'll be out this January.
Lo que estamos atravesando es un problema muy en serio, donde Gray Hill, el alcalde y los contratistas no quieren llegar a un acuerdo con nosotros, donde en Gray Hill el 10 de agosto hubo un incendio, a nosotros nos robaron, nos rompieron nuestros apartamentos y al final del día, ¿qué? Nos amenazan con quedarnos en la calle. Esto no es justo porque aquí no se está hablando simplemente de un techo. Muchos de nosotros los inquilinos no cadecíamos de nada, no tomábamos ni medicamentos como para la depresión, la ansiedad y para poder dormir. Y entonces, ahora sí.
Mayra, espera un segundito.
Sí.
What's happening to us, voy a intentar. What's happening to us between Gray Hill, the owner, and the mayor is an injustice because there was a fire on August 10th and our apartments were burned, they were broken, we were robbed of our belongings, and no one is helping us, and what's happening to us is an injustice.
Entonces, a todo esto nos ha afectado tanto en la salud, tanto para personas mayor de edad, niños que tienen un padecimiento, ya sea de autismo, personas adultas, nosotros como la clase trabajadora nos hemos quedado en la calle. Esto no es justo que nosotros.
This has affected our health. We have older people, we have children with autism, we have all of us adults who are working class people, and we're going to end up in the street.
Nosotros hemos tenido comunicación con Gray Hill. El acuerdo fue que la unidad iba a estar supuestamente arreglada por 2 semanas, luego 1 mes y después 3 meses. ¿Qué viene pasando? La otra parte que no fue afectada por el fuego, se supone que a nosotros nos dieran la prioridad y nos la pasaran a nosotros con la misma cantidad que nosotros estábamos pagando la renta.
So we were always told from communications from Gray Hill that our apartments were going to be ready in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month, And then what happened? It didn't come through. And we were also told that the other part of the building that wasn't damaged by fire, we would have priority to get back in there at the same rents as we had been paying in our old apartment.
Porque no nos dan la prioridad de nosotros estar en el otro lado que no fue afectado. ¿Por qué? Porque no, la renta es mucho más cara de lo que nosotros estamos pagando ahora mismo.
And so, but they're not giving us priority over there. And so what happens? The rent that they're charging is much, much more on the other side of the building than what we had been paying.
Cuando tenemos nuestra conversación con Gray Hill se dedica a echarle la culpa al alcalde. El alcalde le echa la culpa a Gray Hill y al final al cabo, el 10 de agosto, todos nosotros nos vamos a quedar sin un techo. Ustedes, que son el cuadro, ¿pueden hacer algo por nosotros justo?
So whenever we talk to Gray Hill, they blame the mayor. Whenever we talk to the mayor, he blames Gray Hill. But we've been without a roof since August 10th, and so we have to ask you, the council, are you going to do something about this?
Nada de esto para nosotros ha sido fácil, pero ante toda la unidad de Gray Hill, yo me siento orgulloso porque nosotros somos como militares, soldados, no dejamos ningún inquilino caído y como buenos soldados y como nos hemos convertido en comunidad, vamos a luchar y cada vez que tengamos que venir aquí, vamos a venir aquí y vamos a hacer asistencia. Gracias.
So it has not been easy for us, any of this process, but I know that we have been strong. We've been like an army. And then, just like an army, we have not left any tenant behind, and we will not leave any tenant behind, and we will keep fighting, and we will show up here as many times as we have to. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Mitchum, for translating for us. We have one last speaker, and that is Madison Cheney. Good evening.
Hi. My name is Madison Cheney. I've lived in Hartford since I was born, and I'm a senior at Craig Academy of Computer Science and Engineering in Enfield. I am required to complete a capstone project this year, and I chose the topic food deserts, something that not only impacts me, but the people in my community and other communities like I am here to address the City Council because I believe it is of significance and importance and negatively impacts specifically Black and brown urban communities in that it is difficult to find affordable or good quality fresh food within a reasonable distance from our homes. These food deserts have direct correlation with the cycle of poverty in already low-income communities. It is not only our nutrition that is impacted, but our mental health and well-being as a whole. Healthy food options should not be a privilege. They should be a right for everyone, regardless of. I remember when I was younger, I always used to go over my grandmother's house deep in the north end of Hartford. She lived like 2 houses away from a corner store. There was no grocery stores close by, and for that reason, she would do big shopping, either once, maybe sometime twice a month. I remember clearly a time where we were running low on supplies, and she had asked me to go to the corner store to get her half a gallon of milk so she could cook, make a meal. And I had already like $5 to me, so she didn't have to give me any money. So I was planning on getting the milk and a bag of chips. So, but when I got there, the total was already $5 and some change. But the clerk, he had gave it to me because I always go there often. Knows. At that time, I thought it was just because inflation, but I realized it was more complex than that. The nearest places in already impoverished area for food are in upsells on necessity items is an example of the ongoing oppression of Black and brown people, because my white teacher told me where she lives in a neighboring town of Enfield. She goes to the grocery store every other day because it's 2 minutes away from her house, and while the nearest Walmart here and Hartford is 4.7 miles away, and it's illustrating systematic racism within the city. Some solutions that I found in my research is for future urban planning and zoning, we can build more grocery stores instead of fast food areas in my area. The government can help with tax breaks, grants, or low interest loans to encourage grocery chains to build stores in underserved areas, support local businesses. Improving SNAP access by expanding eligibility for benefits for federal assistance programs like SNAP, also known as food stamps, so they could increase food access for low-income families. In conclusion, I am not saying this is going to be easy, but instead of talking about the things we need to take action. The city of Hartford needs to focus on rehabilitation over gentrification. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Madison. Madison, we would love to get your contact information, how to reach out to you, because you certainly are a good advocate, you know, to get a grocery store in the city. Seeing that we have no more speaker, and tonight we dedicated the time to honor our town clerk, who is no longer with us. As you see, we have everything all I don't think.
Sorry,
Oh, okay.
I'm listening to you.
All right, no, because we didn't know if we would just close out our public comment, because we are going to spend the remaining time in honoring Noel McGregor, our town clerk. Not sure if any of the council members have anything to say before we start with the honoring. Oh, before we do that, we do have a video that we made for the family. Can we get that started?
Noel was somebody that the city was lucky to have. He was a great mentor, a great friend, a true son of the city. He loved Hartford, Connecticut. He kind of walked me through as a young rookie. He helped me prepare for my sergeant's exam. He was very instrumental in my ascension to the chief of police. I could not have done any of those things without Noel's help.
You know, again, we served on the police department together. You know, I was grateful for that. But informally, he was a mentor of mine. You know, I never, sat down and told him that I consider him a mentor. But I watched and I listened and I learned from him. And he would look at things as a problem. He would look at them as an opportunity to get ahead, to move people forward.
He listened before he spoke, and then when he spoke, he meant what he said. It's the best way to say it. He was a good friend, a good confidant. He assisted me in putting my cabinet together, all my department heads, kind of gave a pause to crisis and a lift to hope. And that's what I remember the most about Noel.
He ran the food kitchen over on Prospect. I saw sort of the way that Noel was a hub for the city and all the people that connected him, and also all the good that he did radiating outward with his quiet confidence. And that was really moving for me because I knew his resume, right? And I knew him as a person involved in the operation of the city. But then I really saw him as a human being connected to the life of the city in a way that impacted so many people.
As a city clerk, I mean, you provide, all of the official record keeping for the city and provide guidance to the council administratively. And I think Noel always did that with grace, with a positive attitude. As I was joking when I first sat down, that it can be a very intense, fast-paced work environment. And I think Noel always took the time to sort of slow down and have meaningful conversations, even while navigating the hectic pace that sometimes can be City Hall.
When Noel left the job, we went into a pandemic, probably a month later, and he stepped up in that office to do something that none of us knew how to do, virtual council meetings that, you know, are governed by government. It's not just like, let's have a Zoom meeting. We had to really make sure we knew what we were doing, and it got done. So, you know, kudos to not only him, but how he brought everybody together. So it was appreciated.
Number of absentee ballots in Hartford probably quadrupled, if not more so. And that was one city department where people could not work from home. I mean, the city clerk's office had to be open and for processing all these ballots, but it was all done, of course, both for the primaries, but most importantly, the November presidential election, 2020. It was quite a task, and he was certainly up to it, and he really came in and showed the strength of his personality.
You know, the very last time Noel and I were together, we were actually right outside City Hall, and we recorded a video to encourage people to come in and vote early. And he, in the clerk's office, was always thinking about ways in which he can get more people involved in the political process, more people involved in civic engagement, and trying to, until the very end, try to get more people out to vote in this election, which just shows his level of commitment for both this community, for this country, and for the world he wanted to build.
He's got a big heart. He's a very happy person. He's more than willing to give to the community and to help someone out, and that's exactly what he does.
I think Noel impacted his community almost daily. Noel as a person was, you know, just a fighter for the common person. You know, I think he looked for injustices in his own community, and he looked to right those, you know, if it's as a police officer, if it was as town chairman, and you know, anything he'd do to help his people.
I will remember Noel really for his love of the city, his passion for public service. Again, whether it was, you know, transition from his time as a police officer here to, you know, his volunteer position on town committee and as chair, to the clerk's office there serving in an official capacity. Just again, wanting to help people that were less fortunate, and just his love for the city and for the people in it.
I think for a lot of people, they can say that Noel helps them get their political start. That's true for me. For a lot of people, they can say, you know, he helped run their campaigns. But when I think of Noel, what I remember most is the fact that week after week, he made one of the largest food pantries in this city possible. There are thousands of people who were able to put meals on the table for their family because of the work that Noel did. It's a really moving thing, and I think a tribute to a man who had a big public presence in the city, but his private service told the real story.
One of the things I remember, you know, at the end of the night, if he had, you know, leftover food at the restaurant, he gives it to the homeless people. He was the type of man, it wasn't about him, it wasn't about himself, it was about what's the greater good for the community. And he certainly encouraged us, or encouraged people who run for office to want to do better on behalf of the residents and the voters in the city. And that is my vivid memory of him.
When my mom was sick recently, he made sure that I was okay, made sure my mom and everything was, we had what we needed. He was very helpful to all the employees and the staff that was here. Noel was very stern, great heart of gold. If you ask him and if it was something he could do, he'd go all his way to do it. That was Noel.
So Noel has always been an icon sort of figure within the city of Hartford. He always took honor in his position, whichever one it was. He always looked out for the well-being of the community, whether it be with politics, shelters, making sure people had enough food. With the food pantry that he ran, he was and always will be remembered within the city of Hartford.
He never heard the call to serve that he wouldn't and wasn't eager to answer. He was always a person to give back. And that, from his days as a rookie cop to his days as the city and town clerk, he has exemplified what it means to be a community member and to truly embody the golden rule, which is to take care of thy neighbor.
Town clerk.
Councilwoman Bilodeau.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilman Mictum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passed.
And so I call this meeting to end and wish everybody to stay warm. To the McGregor family, I know words don't actually, help, but do know that Noel has been our town clerk for over the last 5 years, and he has served this council so well that this is our heart saying to you, we appreciate you sharing him with us for the short time is with us. So we want to just thank you and know that you're in our heart, you're in the city's heart, because of all he has been to this city of Hartford. We've got you. So before we conclude, we do have a proclamation that we would like to present to you. Would that be okay? Would she be okay? All right. So why don't we go down and set the proclamation. I gotta put the so I can read. So this is from all the council members. It reads, from the City of Hartford Court of Common Council official citation, be it hereby known to all that the City of Hartford Court of Common Council extends its sincerest condolences and expression of sympathy to the McGregor family on the passing of Noel Fitzroy McGregor Jr. On this day, we hereby celebrate the life of Noel Fitzroy McGregor Jr., a beloved pillar of our community. Devoted his life to making our city a place where all our friends, family, and neighbors felt loved, respected, and safe. Noel believed the best way to lead through example. He not only showed his affection for our city by committing himself to the ideals and principle of being a civil servant, but he believed the best way to be a force of good was through direct action. Whether Noel was assisting residents who are most in need through volunteering and supporting local nonprofits, or upholding the great ideals of our democracy by supporting free and fair election, Noel's kindness and faith served as a guiding light and drove his unwavering commitments to our city. Today, Hartford Court of Common Council commemorates Noel Fitzroy McGregor, Jr., and all the ways he has touched the lives of so many people. His kindness, faith, strength, gift for connecting with people over a good meal shall live on through the immense respect and fondness he showed everyone whose life he touched. His remarkable legacy will live on through the joy he brought to others, the people whom he mentored, and through his many immeasurable acts of kindness. We thank you for sharing Noel Fitzroy McGregor with us. And we have a lot of his staff members here. We have Eric and, so staff, come on up and take a picture with all of us. Well, come on, I guess we're gonna come down a little bit more.
Gonna fall.